Welcome back to NinjaTrader Live. Joining me live from the studio in Naples, Florida, our very own Shy Girl. Shy, how are you?
How you doing? Just waiting for this FOMC decision, right? Looks like, I don't know, the market's just puked a little. Did it leak?
Yeah, no, I think Trump just said something. I just caught it at the corner of my eyes. He said something like, no relief for China tariffs, 145%.
Oh, of course. All right.
Anyway, so again, a new meeting. This is the third one of the year, right? As I believe, third one of the year. No dot plot this time. Just and probably no rate cut, hike, or anything at this meeting.
Yeah, let's talk a little about what's kind of expected today. So obviously, there's no rate change anticipated. Fed funds rate is expected to remain in the current range of 4.25% to 4.5%, where it's been since December 2024. According to the CME's Fed Watch tool, there is a 97% probability of a rate staying steady. So if that doesn't happen, I expect a large reaction from the market. I think the focus, obviously, we talked about this morning, is going to be on Powell's remarks. The markets are going to analyze Powell's comments for insights on the Fed's outlook on inflation and employment and the potential impact of recent trade policies. Most are expecting the Fed to emphasize that wait and see approach that they have been saying all year, pretty much, seeking clarity on economic trends before making any policy adjustment. When we look at the data kind of going into this meeting, we've got inflation, so price stability, what the Fed is looking at, and the Fed's preferred inflation measure, PCE, slowed to 2.3% in March, but core still remains sticky above 2.6%. Employment, again, we just had jobs. We saw addition of 177,000 jobs, keeping the employment rate steady at 4.2%. So still a resilient labor market, even though jobs are slightly down. And then looking at GDP, we did have the economy did contract in the first quarter, partly due to surge of imports ahead of these new tariffs, kind of leading to a record trade deficit that we saw. And to top everything off, we've got trade policy uncertainty, certainly, with Trump's recent tariffs. We've got 10% global on a global import tax on the world, and of course that 145% on Chinese goods. So the Fed's got kind of a lot to contemplate right now.
It sure does. But it's funny. I feel like we've had that Fed funds tool for at least 3 weeks, up around 90%, no cut. The week before that, it was about 61%, no cut. Yet it just seems like this meeting is highly anticipated for some reason. I can't figure out why. One of the things that's I meant to ask you is, between this meeting and the next, we're going to have two CPIs. We're going to have another employment situation report. We're going to have another PCE. Is the Fed at risk of maybe like missing a target opportunity here, or are we going to be saying, "Hey, you're too slow, Powell," again?
Well, they very well could be, right? The next meeting's July 30th. There's a probability rate cut of that at 80%. But we all know that the Fed tends to be behind the curve, right? So it wouldn't be something new if things got a whole lot worse, for example, between now and the next meeting.
Yeah, well, that's the trick, right? We don't know. But, I've been looking at we talked about this morning on the morning show. My eyes are on the 30-year Treasury bond market first and foremost. We know the equity market's going to go haywire somehow, some way, no matter what happens. But the Treasury bond market, it tends to be a little bit more rational in my experience. And it's also been kind of suggestive of kind of a risk on, risk off these days instead of a flight to quality. So my eyes are on that right now. We have a little bit of a pop up, but not much to speak of so far today. But it is leaning toward the upside.
And so we have rates unchanged. No surprise to the market. And we're just waiting here for the Fed statement. But no change, no change. And, markets didn't react too crazy yet, I think. I think it's going to be kind of a hurry up and wait now until and to see what he says at the presser, whether he's going to be kind of hawkish or dovish. But surprisingly, not much movement in the market from what I
Does
can
it say
see.
anything? Does it say anything? I know you just got the report, but does it say anything about continued what they're going to do with quantitative tightening? Are they going to slow it down even more, or is it still going to be at that 5 billion level they've already slowed it down to?
So okay, so the statement changes are very minimal. So they
No.
took out that part. It says the committee will continue reducing its holding of Treasury securities and agency debt and agency mortgage-backed securities. They took out the part that said in beginning of April, the committee will slow the pace of the decline of securities by reducing monthly redemption cap on Treasury securities from 25 billion to 5 billion. So that was taken out of the statement. And it just says the committee, instead, it says the committee is strongly committed to supporting maximum employment, returning inflation to its 2% objective. And then we had 6 voters this time. As we mentioned this morning, Schmidt is out. Unfortunately, his wife is ill. And so it looks like Kashkari took his place. And it was pretty unanimous. So you have that.
Okay, so that's interesting. I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind that maybe Goolsby, he's the guy from Chicago, because he's been kind of the dovish one as far as I could tell when you're reading his statements and listening to him. I thought if anyone's going to be a dissenter, it's going to be Goolsby, but apparently no, everyone's marching to the same drummer at this point, which is probably a smart thing.
Yeah, I mean, it shows solidarity. So again, not much reaction from the markets. Everything came in as expected. Nothing crazy on the statement. Again, it looks like they really are emphasizing risks on employment and higher inflation. They're worried about higher unemployment and they're worried about higher inflation continuing forward. So they are sticking to it.
Yeah, so I mean, the initial reaction in the E-mini S&P, you could see it's kind of flatlined right now. We're just kind of trading around the pivot, around 56.30. We keep wicking through that Jax 1 level, which is the gamma exposure level for the futures at 62, the highest gamma level exposure. 56.25 is kind of forming a really nice. And I'm going to draw at least one piece of bread here. I'm just going to draw one rectangle, a really nice area of support that we've had for, ever since the initial balance low. And we'll see if we get a breakout to the downside or not. A lot of folks are expecting it, but right now it's been relatively sticky. And as you say, I guess the devil's in the details with whatever Chair Powell says or what Chair Powell doesn't say in his press conference today.
Does or doesn't. We'll see if anybody asks him those hard pressing questions. We know they generally do not, but sometimes one or two get through. So we'll find out as that happens. And looking at other markets, little changed. Gold is holding steady. So silver's holding steady. I mean, it's up a tiny bit, but nothing, to write home about. And so, yeah, it looks like markets are gonna just sit and be waiting. Not much movement in crude oil either. So.
Yeah, I just pulled up a intraday gold chart, and it's a tight range today. The pivot's holding as resistance at the top. That volume point of control is just magnificent. This is a beautiful volume profile. I'm going to submit this graph and this picture to Tony when he writes his book, and say, "Hey, Tony, you could use this chart. It's a perfect volume profile, Gaussian distribution, point of control right in the middle." Right where we're trading right now. So gold's found price happiness right now. But again, I expect the same kind of thing, right? This is all about Chair Powell and what he's gonna say today. I'm gonna draw just a little rectangle here, Tracy, area support. Really nice. It's really been even pre-market going into the open. This is kind of held. Everything is, it's like a spring that's like coiled real tight. I have this feeling, right, that something's going to happen. I don't know, maybe not.
Right. Well, it does kind of look like it, right? The market does look rather coiled. So kind of indices are pulling back a little bit. So I feel like this is a slow, like a delayed market reaction here, like usual, where it just like flips on it as soon as the report comes in. But indices are starting to come down a little bit here. I'm sure everybody on NinjaTrader is watching the charts, but not everybody that's watching NinjaTrader is watching the charts. So.
Well, I just switched over to Swiss franc too. I love, and me and you have talked about this. The Swiss franc has caught a bid in the last, I don't know, several weeks, and so it's like, all right, could we get any clues from this market in terms of, is this going to be a risk-off kind of move today? What's the market thinking? So the Swissy is actually, it's had a really nice rally. It's continuing to rally today, right up to R1, and that's at one spot 22554. So this is not a sideways tight range for this, which means the U.S. dollar is weaker against the Swiss franc. We're bumping up against the top of my consolidation range on a daily chart here. So that gives me a little bit more pause also. I see Treasuries up a little bit. You see Swissy up a little bit.
Yen's on the move. Check the yen. The yen is on the move. Mr. Yen is on the move.
Who made that up, Mr. Yen?
I'm looking at an intraday chart. I'm in a 5-minute chart. Remember they used to see?
Yeah.
So Mr. Yen is on the move. I thought they used to call it Mrs. Something back in the day. I forgot what they called it.
Watanabe.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah. So there we go. Although I did love Jason Shapiro's explanation about what he's looking at with the commitment of traders in the yen and that pivot trade. I thought that was brilliant. It was a great look and feel. But yeah, this is a decent sized candle here. I mean, we're still kind of, as opposed to the Swissy, we're still kind of range bound. I look at the very first big red candle on the Globex Open, and I'm looking at that midpoint right there, and we're well south of that, but the range is pretty tight. Even if you compare the London initial balance with the U.S. initial balance, pretty tight. But these last two candles, I mean, this was a pretty positive move up on the Swiss franc. So right now, the stock index futures are just kind of like, all right, we're waiting. We're waiting for excitement. Oh, here we go. Here's the micro Nasdaq.
Here we go.
Starting to.
There you go. Now they're starting to lose it. So markets thought for a minute and then decided they weren't happy with the no rate cut. Don't you feel like that was a delayed move? It was a delayed move. That was like, 5-7 minutes into this.
Yeah, I felt like
we'll see if
a group of traders. They're like a group of traders sitting around a table, like, all right, what are you gonna do? I don't know. What are you gonna do? I don't know. What are you gonna do? And then finally says, I'm selling, and then everybody jumps on.
Seriously, that's what that was like slow motion.
It was. But in any event, we're in play right now. Tracy, I'm a little bit jealous you get to talk to our next guest, Mr. Tony Nash, but I'm sure it's going to be we're going to learn a lot about what's going on right now as the equity market, one thing I just want to point out though on this, and what we're seeing right now in the sell-off, it's a long way. This is a 30-minute candle. I could change it to something else. I'll change it to something else to make my point. Um, it's, we're still a long way away from 2:30, right? There's the speech that he gives, and then the real action is the Q&A. So, yeah, this is the
Yep,
initial reaction, but we'll see. We'll see what the follow-through really is.
exactly. Actually, tomorrow
And
will
any,
be the actual move, but
yeah,
intraday we'll see
yeah,
what happens.
yeah. All right. Anyway, Tony is here with us today. I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna take some notes and see what he has to say, and I will talk to you later, Shai.
The Tony Nash, how are you doing? Thank you
Tracy,
so
I'm
much
good.
for
Thank you. How are
joining
you?
us again.
It's an exciting day.
Good. It is. So let's just start. You thought May cuts, or we're cheering for it. I don't know. So I want to get your kind of thought on the announcement, and what's kind of your immediate assessment of this decision.
Yeah, obviously, NASDAQ investors were thinking the same thing I was thinking, right? I mean, if you look at that reaction and just wait until Powell starts talking, I mean, he's a private equity guy, right? So he's going to flub it. He always screws up the Q&A. Other Fed governors always have to come in the week after and fix his statements because he always goes overboard one way or another. And so the fact that they're not saying that they're considering being more dovish in their formal statement, if he doesn't signal that in his remarks, then I think tomorrow we're going to have a rough day because if you look at where we are today, inflation is in a much better place than it was in Q3 and Q4 when there were cuts. Employment is around the same place. And the statements that the Fed makes about inflation, my question is where? Okay, so a couple months ago, everyone was talking about egg prices. Egg prices are now down to reasonable levels, right? We have crude because of the OPEC Plus meeting over the weekend. Energy prices are falling dramatically. Because of trade, we have things like proteins like beef and pork and chicken, our vegetables, other things in the U.S. Those prices are going to come down. Housing and rents have come down, right? So I'm wondering, aside from, say, electronics and cars, which aren't small, but where is this inflation that the Fed is talking about, and where is it going to come from? Because when we look at the things that are the biggest wallet share of Americans, it's just not real and it's just not happening. And I think, people really need to push back on the Fed and say, is the inflation in the room with you now, right? Like it's just this made up thing that people are expecting, and it's just not real at this point, nor is it going to be real in the next couple months.
So do you not buy kind of that narrative that's being pushed everywhere, particularly on X, where we're going to have empty shelves and the ports are empty, which the ports aren't empty. I talked to Ross the other day, but
No. Right.
this is, what's going on is that, this is what's going to push prices higher because we're going to have shortages and things of that nature.
Yeah. So the Fed is always fighting the last war, right? And so what did we see in COVID? The last war was COVID. We had toilet paper shortages. That was because of domestic processing plants. That was not because of international trade. Okay. So for people watching who don't know, all of your paper products are made locally. They're made regionally around your state and your city. 90% of those are not imported products. So you're not going to have to stock up on toilet paper or paper towels or any of that stuff. Most of your food is from inside the US and processed inside the US. So, are there going to be shortages on shelves? Yeah, maybe if you want a new TV, there might be. But in Q1, we had so much inventory stocking that I can't see that playing out before, say, August or September, right? So again, as you said, Tracy, we've seen this narrative of shortages, especially over the last, say, 2 to 3 weeks. And my question to those guys is what are we going to be short of? I need them to name what we'll be short of and what the urgency is. So both shortages and inflation, the question remains, what is it? What is the inflation that's coming?
Right. And so given the decision, no cut today, do you see any significant long-term impacts for any key sectors, for instance, housing, tech, or manufacturing over, say, the next 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, I think so I had about a 35% likelihood that the Fed would cut today. So I didn't have it at the 3% that most people had it. I thought that there was a possibility, but not a likelihood that it would happen. I think it would be right to lean dovish in this meeting and then cut in the next meeting. Because what will happen is this. Things like housing, people will put off housing purchases because there's an expectation that the Fed is going to cut in the summer. So if you buy a house now, unless you absolutely have to, you're kind of dumb because in 2 months, your rate will be lower, right? And in 3 months, it will be even lower. And so you start to get that arbitrage on large purchases, given where we are in the cycle. So if the Fed had signaled dovishness coming, then you would see long rates relent a little bit, right? And then people wouldn't be punished for taking out loans now. They would be rewarded a little bit because those yields would come off a bit. But what's going to happen is people are going to put off those large purchases for 2 to 3 months. So it's really going to hurt the backside of Q2 in terms of the US economy.
Well, and given that the next Fed meeting isn't for 2 months, so in between, a lot can happen in two months, right? And so
Right.
we're going to get 2 CPIs, we're going to get 2 everything. Is there a chance that the data deteriorates so much that then they become behind the curve?
Well, there's a possibility, but I think, if you look at things like CPI, I think it's possible that the CPI goes well below 2 in the next couple of months. And then, if you have labor where it is now and you have inflation falling pretty dramatically, because again, we're not exporting as much ag as we did because these other countries are saying we don't want it because of the trade war, right? So we have beef and chicken and pork and soy and all these things captive in the US economy. So that'll push down prices on supply in the US. And so we'll start to see those prices go down. And, the problem with them not leaning dovish today is that they may have to put out a statement sometime in June to underscore the fact that they're not completely out of touch, and almost guarantee a cut in July. Because again, they look really out of touch and they're very academic, the economists at the Fed. They don't really get out of their neighborhood, their plush neighborhood, and see what real people are doing. And so they're really disconnected from the way the US consumer behaves and the way US industry behaves.
Do you think there's a chance that Powell didn't cut because he was so pressured by the administration he didn't want to seem political?
Oh, I think he didn't cut because it's political. I think, remember, there were cuts in Q3 and Q4 when inflation was even higher, okay? There were cuts in Q3 and Q4 when the labor market was even better. So those cuts were very political, and this lack of a cut is very political. So I believe that Powell is trying to embarrass the administration for political purposes, of course, because now they wait for 2 months, right? And now, you could have a Q2 GDP print that is much lower than expected because, again, people are putting off those large purchases. So, I expect people to look at this and go, wow, this was a huge mistake, just not even leaning dovish in their statement. And it's really going to damage the economic performance in Q2 because he didn't even lean toward dovish, which would have a serious push downward on long yields. So that's the real question, is long yields. What happens with long yields? And so if Powell is making dovish statements, then that makes Bessent's job easier in terms of pulling long yields down. And that's one of the biggest challenges of the Treasury right now, is figuring out how to get those long yields back down so that we can get some tailwinds in real estate.
Absolutely. And the minister, Bessent hasn't been quiet about that fact either, that, he wants yields down, Trump as well. Did you by chance get a chance to read that statement? The Fed
I
statement?
saw it a little bit. It was really pretty neutral, right? I mean, there weren't any major changes. And they talked about the possibility of inflation. So, they're talking about the fact that inflation at the rate of 2%, it hasn't quite hit 2% yet, but what they disregard is kind of inertia or momentum in markets, right? So we have this momentum toward 2%, and if they wait too long, it's going to overshoot. And I think they've waited too long. They started rate cuts in the fall, and then they stopped. And they should have continued with another 25 this month. I think they should have continued with another 25 this month to continue the course that they had started. They wouldn't have done it too soon, I think. I think they could have looked political if they had done it too soon. They waited a little bit. I think it would have been a good time.
And then considering kind of the global economic landscape, we have global geopolitical tensions, supply chain considerations, et cetera. And then we have inflation, and then we have every other central bank cutting. How does the Fed's decision today, where does that put us?
Yeah, well, the real problem is the upward pressure it'll put on the dollar, right? So, you see you mentioned the yen moving, right? So the yen is appreciating because Japan is pretty dovish generally, and the euro, the ECB is very dovish. The PCOB in China is very dovish. They have to be. So, the upward pressure on the dollar will be real. That will hurt the trade balance of the U.S., of where the administration is trying to go. So the Treasury then will undertake activities to weaken the dollar. So you're going to see, this environment where the Fed and the Treasury are working against each other in order to have a dollar in the, say, mid to high 90s on the DX. Because the administration does not want, we had a DX around 110 or so when Yellen was in office, and that was too powerful. It was hurting our trade partners in terms of their debt commitments and debt repayment. It was helping them in terms of their trade balance, but it was hurting them in terms of being able to service their debt.
Well, this isn't new, right? We had Yellen and Powell kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum as well.
Well, they were, but they weren't, right? I mean,
intentional?
They were complementing each other. Yeah, they were complementing each other. In many ways, they were. And so, we had a very strong dollar in 22, 23. And yeah, they were going in separate directions, but between rates and the dollar, it was attracting more investment in the US. And that's really what was pushing the dollar up, as well as some of the Treasury policy. But for the past year, almost 2 years, the Fed and the Treasury had been going in the same direction. And remember, when Yellen was the Fed chair, she would complain again and again about how she was doing the monetary actions, but no fiscal actions were taken. And so when she took over the Treasury, she did crazy fiscal actions to kind of reinforce the monetary actions that were taking place. So she was very fiscally active. And so you don't get that with Bessent or with Bessent. I mean, he really is going to make sure that the US is very careful with its spending. At least that's what he's going to vocalize. And, again, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Fed to ease, because you're not going to have the fiscal activity that you've had over the last 4 years.
Now, I kind of want to switch to kind of look at businesses, particularly small businesses. Sure. As you know, you're in that business. So,
Yes.
how are businesses trying to navigate kind of this environment right now? And what's the single most important forward-looking advice you can kind of offer in light of this rate decision?
Yeah. Money is tight for small businesses, and margins are tight. And as we have these costs, at least these domestic costs inputs go down, of course, international cost inputs will be rising because the dollar is weak and tariffs, right? So small businesses that import are seeing serious margin compression, and you still have pressure on the staffing side. It's very tough. And so again, this is where my expectation was that the Fed would lean dovish, because small and medium businesses need easier credit conditions. Without the Fed moving, small and medium businesses are going to have a really hard time. This is good for big businesses because they want the small guys to go out of business. But for the small and mid-sized business, Carol Roth, she's always advocating for small businesses, and I love that. But those small businesses are facing serious cash flow issues because of rates and because of costs and because of staffing costs. So they're having a really hard time. And this isn't something brought on by them. It's brought on by external factors.
Right. And so do you think the Fed takes this into consideration at all? I know their mandate
Absolutely
is,
not. I don't think the Fed cares. The Fed doesn't care about small businesses, and they don't care about consumers. They care about banks, and they care about big business. That's all they care about.
Which seems at odd with their maximum employment mandate. But So kind of looking ahead for the next few FOMC meetings, what key economic factors are you going to be closely watching to anticipate the Fed's next move, and kind of what is your baseline expectation for the path of interest rates through the end of the year?
Yeah, I would expect a cut in July. I think it's going to be overdue. I think by the time July comes around, people are going to be screaming for a cut. We will have imported inflation. Now, keep in mind, when I say imported inflation, that means that prices will, because China exports deflation, right? So what we import from China is below what a market would produce on its own. So because we're normalizing the cost of goods that come out of China, it's going to be inflationary simply because China overproduces. So we're going to see those imported prices normalize on a higher rate. So that's going to be seen as inflationary, which it is. We're going to see domestic goods, especially agriculture and other goods, paper goods, these sorts of things, fall in price over the next couple of months. And so depending on the sector, you're going to see margin compression. But in some sectors, like say electronics or something, you may actually see prices rise, and you may see margins widen out in areas like electronics, where we may by August have a smaller supply of those goods, leaving those electronic sellers to charge more for those goods based on shortages or whatever. But for those domestic industries, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them in terms of margins. So I would expect a cut in July, and then maybe one in September, October, and then one in November, December. So I would guess 3 to 4 cuts this year. But again, I believe they're late because small and medium businesses are suffering cash flow issues.
And they always are behind the ball, and that
Always.
is right. So and then anything else that you would like to add, some final words, and before we leave, what you kind of expect the markets to look like?
Tracy, I think what's really interesting is the OPEC decision over the weekend. And I know you've probably talked that to death by now, but I think that's a deflationary move globally for everybody. And when we look at the dollar, which was moving lower, and the OPEC decision over the weekend, because oil is priced in dollars, that was a price cut for everyone globally. So I think, again, we need to hear the Fed make dovish moves so that the dollar continues to weaken slightly, so that the world can have a price cut for energy, which will have secondary and tertiary impacts on everything that we do.
Absolutely. And with that, Tony Nash, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thanks,
And
Tracy.
we'll definitely have you back.
Thank you.
Hi. And up next, we have Stowe and XYZ, OrderFlow Labs.
Hey, Tracy. How's it going?
Hey, guys. Good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Not
Happy
too bad.
Fed
not
Day.
too
Happy
bad.
Fed Day.
Happy Fed Day. Have happy Fed Day. I will be watching this market action here. Seeing anything exciting?
Too many things.
Yeah, too many things. I caught myself taking trades in there. This happens to me all the time. We end up in this this high time frame spot that I've been waiting for 1,000 years at a really tricky news inflection point. But I got a couple scalps out of it, but I got to be flat for the speech because this thing's just gonna whip all around. But I've been waiting for this retest down here at this 715, just 700 spot. Retest the top of this box, and we got it. And there's a buyer down there, so I'm just gonna try to watch, see if I can get a sniper entry and hold it. But I don't know. How about you, XY?
I don't know.
See how it goes. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go listen to the presser, and I will leave you guys to the charts.
All right, sounds good. Let us know if he says anything cool and what color tie he has on.
That's trading, huh? You can do like all this analysis, talk for 5 minutes, and just go, yeah, but I don't know.
Yep, it's true. Yeah, there was definitely a buyer down there, though. Yeah, I think we talked about this. Like, I don't know. Maybe I talked about this Monday. Maybe we talked about it yesterday. I don't know. But yeah, retested the box. We left a balance area, came back, tested it, rejected. So, Fed day or no, it's happening, baby.
I mean, if they can hold this up move, it's really good because they actually built a little bit of volume to leave behind down there.
Yep.
So it would mean something for sure if they can run it against them.
I actually got so many trades. I love trading the Fed day before the Fed actually talks. I don't know if you were in any of this overnight low stuff here, but this was, I think what you called it yesterday was like a food bank, an ATM.
Oh yeah, I did the reverse though. I kept
Okay.
offering IB low. You
Oh,
know, because
nice.
the lows were kind of equal down there, right? So you're like, oh, it's gonna crack. The only question is, are they gonna do it pre FOMC or post, right?
Yep.
So I just got in offer IB low like over and over, scaled out over and over, and ultimately they didn't give me the break. But they were good moves. Got in some pretty big size because the stop was really tight, right? I didn't think they would breach this low volume area, which they didn't. They just wouldn't give me the full thing though. So made plenty scaling out, thankfully, right? Only the first go right here, the first attempt back at IB low after they cracked it, did they give me that like move through, and they finally swept out that low barely, and
Yep.
they just came back. I only took off like half the position at that point. I wanted previous day low, so I wanted to scale out more into previous day low. So I actually held half back painstakingly. You know how I hate round tripping.
Yes.
I held it, and it came back, and I put on full size again, and I started scaling out into half. back into full, and then at some point I just gave it up. So on this move here, where it came back, made that lower high, came back down, I decided, all right, I'm gonna go get out of everything but two lots, one for a new low, one for previous day low. I put a trailing stop here, and as soon as they just failed to extend lower, I just wiped my hands clean. I'm done. I'm not gonna touch this anymore. I am spent. I am so spent trying to nab that previous day low or a crack of a new low. But luckily, yeah, food bank, it just paid over and over, right? One, two, three, four, five touches here, which I was involved in, putting on more size every single time.
Yep.
So,
That's so funny, dude. We were trading the same.
well, I kind of
We were
reversed it.
trading
I
the
was
same
like,
40
why don't I
point
just
thing
buy
again.
the low then? Because there was so much absorption. I
Yep.
swear. I was like, who is this guy?
That's
There
so
was
funny.
so much. The
We were friendly
delta,
fire and we didn't even know it.
the delta buildup. What I was telling one of my buddies, like, I haven't seen buildup like this in a long time. I don't know who's sitting there, but they really like the price.
Yep.
But yeah, usually I was gonna ask you how you felt about FOMC days because I I don't remember the last time I traded post announcement. I always try to get the work done prior
Yes.
and just leave it alone because, like everybody says, your worst day is likely an FOMC day. So if they're
Yep.
gonna give me that food bank, right, I'll take it. Over and over and over. It's free money, it's free food. I'm gonna do it over and over till it falls apart, right? Until the wheels fall off. Wheels never fell off. Um, and then I just got so frustrated with that buyer. I just called it. It's like I'm taking my ball and I'm leaving.
Oh man, that makes me so happy. Um, not that you were frustrated, but that we were on the other side. You and I, we didn't know that we were trading a 40-point range back and forth between each other. That's exactly what we were doing for like an hour. And I mean, I was so frustrated because I'm like, I can't keep buying this. I can't keep buying this. But I mean, like you said, I took a screenshot of it. If in case I was still in this trade, just to show what the delta was doing at the time. It was insane. And then I finally caught. I gave up. This was my last one. I like bought scale, and I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go outside. I gotta go to the drugstore. I'm done with this thing. And it made it to the other side of value. So I got a nice runner that was a gift, but I had given up on that thing.
Yeah, you are on the right side for sure. Because it eventually ran through. But I
And then
couldn't believe.
I scalped around a little bit again once it got back after the minute announcement. That was right in here. Um, and then that buyer was back. So I grabbed a couple and then got stopped on this giant puke down to this balance area, previous balance area high. And that's when I started taking shots again.
Yeah, I mean, in
But I
hindsight,
quit here.
obviously,
I don't know.
like VWAP fade looks really nice.
Yeah.
They came back. That's the first time back. Put in that lower high and just ran through. It's a really good setup. I mean, I
This is
was
a
a huge fan
good
of it.
this is a good distribution here too.
Right in the middle.
Like
Talking about this
I
middle.
like this LVN, like the
Oh, uh-huh.
IBL or low, seeing the crime stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
This is
that's
all,
tough because what when they came back and offered that the last time, that's the announcement, so it's hard to really,
yeah,
unless you're crazy,
unless you're crazy.
wouldn't write you off. Nope.
I've been known to press the button when you probably shouldn't be, but
Not not shy on the trigger.
not shy. This is the monthly open here too, so this is MGI City in this
Yeah,
distribution.
there's a lot going on with MGI. It's just the entire day's range is the MGI. Like it's just trapped in with MGI. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I traded post FOMC, so we'll see what we can do. But
Oh boy.
I know you're not shy on the trigger, so I'm sure you'll give them some content today.
I'll get something maybe, but I need the book to be there. and it isn't right now. So I'll need it to show back up again. That's why I was comfortable getting in here. The book thickened back up again. And then it did the same down here. And we got, I got to take my setups when they're there, no matter what time it is. Exhaustion right at that. This is the balance area high, the previous one. I'll bring my big picture chart up again. So we came down. This is the spike of that candle. Tested this, rejected out of this balance area high. And now we're back up here partying again. So that's what I was waiting to see all week. Unfortunately, it happens on a news day when it's especially tricky to execute an entry.
Yeah, I mean, price right now found its way back into that main node and is rejecting downside again. Honestly, if they can lock out the volume that's under this distribution, we can just keep going up.
Look at and it's kind of stairs,
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. MA says, why not shorts under VWAP instead of counter trend trading? Who's counter trend trading? You mean like Stowe's long that he just got out of?
So why not shorts under VWAP instead of counter trend trading? Oh, I understand. I don't specifically subscribe to under VWAP, shorts only, above VWAP, longs only. I do on normal days. I try to stick to no longs or no longs once we're in this deviation band, and no shorts once we're in this deviation band. But when a high time frame target comes up, like that balance area high, that's going to be something that you're watching for a week or two. And I don't take into account RTH MGI, which is what RTH VWAP is when I'm trying to execute those. I also give myself more chances to usually half size, looking for larger moves. I probably should have stayed in this runner, but I don't. But it was coming up on the speech, and it's stupid to be in a position into a coin flip event. You don't know what somebody's going to say, and you also don't know how the robots are going to react to whatever Powell says. So I don't know. That's my thesis on this. So this is unusual for me to take a long down here, but I was playing a higher time frame trade setup that I've been waiting for ever since we broke out of that last one.
That's a nice one too.
I mean,
Were
I
you
didn't
long?
like
You
it.
were long in the green room. Weren't you long over there?
I was long in the green room. I'm like, I'm sorry, everybody. I have to take this trade.
Yeah, they're inching this up.
Tracy says he said wait and see 12 times so far. Good.
Book isn't
Nick, what's
like
up, buddy?
super thin.
There's a lot of people in today for Fed Day. This is a good day to not trade and watch other people trade on
Watch
the
other,
internet.
yeah. I was
That's what
gonna
I would be
say
doing.
it's kind of like it's a good way to just stop and then see someone else blow up.
Yep. We will not be blowing up today. No way. Because I have to share my stats tomorrow, and I'm not going down like that.
Those are some famous last words.
Oh man, it's so wiggly up here. Just robots fighting. This
It's funny
840
that
842
every
is quite a
time
bit of
we're
delta.
on, it's like, oh, what are we gonna do with this range? There's no volatility. And now that there's a bunch, we're just like, oh, what do we do with this?
You're
Chat's
right.
like, do these guys even know how to trade actually? They
You're
just
right.
when there's range, I hate this. When there's no range, I hate this.
All right, let me look at the chat. Who's in here? Firmament got wrecked so bad today. All right, well, there's always another day. That's why you have a daily loss limit.
Book is still pretty thin.
Yeah.
It's just flying. This is tough. Tape is still pretty sell side for now. I mean, they're likely going to test the bottom of this distribution again, overnight low area.
Yeah. At least. I need to see that buyer exist again. But it rejected right here. It didn't like this. Didn't like the rest of this
Yeah, it's just
distribution. It's
trapped in
trying to
this
hold this node.
trapped in this node again in the distribution.
It is a good day, Freddie, to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you so much. You're right. Yeah, baby. What standard deviation are those VWAPs? They are this is -1, -2, and then +1, +2. And then this red and green one, it changes colors based on if you're above it or below it, but that's the RTH VWAP. Leo, you know who loves trading FOMC? My buddy Leo loves it. Oh, Leo Sounder.
It's it's like wrestling, you know, when you come in, you get your own theme song playing.
That's cool. We should, yes. That was awesome.
I'm laying on the couch right now, trading on his iPad.
Yeah, don't act like you don't have a mobile app that has trading options.
Get this tape.
Is it just gonna do this?
Still stuck in this range.
Yeah,
We'll see if that. I want to see at least like a failed extension or something.
I know. I got this 813 area from before also is why I was leaning so hard long.
ES's volume profile looks a little funky.
Yeah, what's it doing?
It's a little strange. Looks like it would want to fill more on the downside, but definitely dicey.
All right. Got a quick one. So only 2 lots. Just trying to make
Only
that free.
2 lots. This is FOMC. Two
Yeah.
lots can get you far, or it can put you in the grave. I'm just waiting for the tape.
Not minis, XY.
Yeah, the tape is pretty negative, so I'm kind of waiting on that to chill out.
Yeah, I might have been early. That I saw that buy sweep come in and I liked it, so I just wanted to hop on.
Could still be there. Oh, you're close.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm quite close.
It's tickling you.
Danger zone. All right. Scratch. Try again. Maybe.
It is tricky. Yeah, this tape is flying on the sell side right now.
Yeah. I like this. I like that guy coming in at 70s. It's been a while since I was this zoomed out. Feels good.
Oh yeah, I always stay zoomed out because you can get lost in the sauce fast.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trading with OrderFlow. You'll drown in the sauce. Yeah, that's why my chart's always zoomed out, heavy.
MA asks, do you guys recommend a good way of dictating trend or direction for the day? Well, that is kind of a loaded question because nobody knows what the day is going to do until the day is over. So it's hard to I don't want you to think that you can predict it. But I've talked about this. I think I have some tweets about it. Maybe I use where prices in relation to the standard deviation VWAP bands as kind of a guide to what's going on, as well as the slope of the VWAP band themselves. I can give you an example from this morning. Now, this is just micro trend. This is just, trend in the moment, not for the day, because trend changes all day. That's important to remember. As you can see here, its price is chopping around. This is the open. Price chops around quite a bit. This is no trend. This is balance or an auction. And then once it gets inside of this VWAP band and you see this VWAP band start to slope up, this is a small trend. And then it peaks out of the +2. That's a much stronger trend. And then you can see here, it loses it quite strongly. And then that moment where it loses it, also the VWAP band slope changes. So I kind of use that as a way to, not get in trouble. And then it kind of became a downtrend in here. Same theory. Now the VWAP band is pointing down and to the right. So you could consider this a downtrend until it's not anymore, which happened right here. Flattens out, and then it traverses its value back to the +1. So the way those bands move throughout the day, I use that as my primary intraday trend context clues. There's some other stuff. What do you use, XY?
I follow volume really, the volume profile, just to see who's like where we're going, where we're currently trading, and then who's really in control is where volume is sitting. So right now, trying the long off of a repeated rebid here on the order flow, so we'll see.
Nice.
But what I don't like is, yeah, we're spending some time outside of the main distribution right now.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't signify strength buy side. Otherwise, we would be holding this edge. I do see a bid that's constantly refreshing down here, so I'm interacting with it. But
I like it.
am not giving it much room. And I do expect the bid to pull us back into that range. Otherwise, we could really see a new low a day.
Yeah.
There is an offer that's still sitting here too. So in my eyes, if they can just get through this offer, then they can get back in that range. But that's a big if. But yeah, it's mostly volume related. If I see majority volume somewhere and prices trading away from it, so yeah, I'm stopped. If price is trading away from it, I'm taking that as initiative activity against that volume. So down here we do have this little build, which I did want to play against. So I wanted price to inch a little lower, and then they kind of found the bid, started finding more bid here, so I took that stab. But looks like they're gonna try for that now. They couldn't really get through this, so I'm always looking at the order flow and who's getting rewarded, right? They really did try to buy this and they couldn't.
Yeah.
So right now, longs for me, they'd have to clear this area to show that they can buy through something. So we're still finding that same snap bid right here. I'd like to see them be able to clear this though, these prices here, to show me that they can actually sustain higher prices. Otherwise, the whole thing can just reoffer somewhere. So now they're doing it.
Yeah, that's the other problem with days like the order flow is a much trickier read on days like today, because it is also switching sides quite a bit.
Right. It's very two-sided right here.
Yep. And you
So
need
when
your
it's two-sided, I do speculate sometimes that this could be the turn. That was not the turn. So we'll see.
this 765 spot is an old spot that I have marked from a previous balance area also.
Looks like they're still trying to bid this, but without me this time. Yeah, right idea. My stop was just a little too tight, but sometimes it's for the better, or most times it's for the better. So I can't say I have any regrets really.
No
Obviously,
regrets.
regretfully, they took me out first and then went, but over a
I see they're
longer
coming in
period,
behind, so I'm gonna try. I'm
you
gonna
gonna
try to
avenge
grab.
me?
I will try to. I will try to avenge you. Stalling though. Don't lose your gas, buyers. Don't lose the gas bid.
Oh yeah, they're running it.
Come on.
So this would have been like my TP1 right
That was a
here,
big sweep.
back in the range.
Sweep, 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 sweep.
Nice. Avenge me.
We'll try. We'll try to get back to the point of control.
Yeah. Yeah, if I put my stop at the swing, I would have been safe. But I didn't want to take that risk.
Yep. Nah, man. Once you're in, you're in. You just got to go deal with your entry as it is. That's a lot
How
of.
many you got? Oh, you got one left?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just in for 2.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Now, whoever asked me about that VWAP thing, this is what I was waiting for. I was waiting for confirmation that we were going to be back outside. And also, this is pretty flat. So that's relatively neutral to me, even on crazy days like today. That still is, a factor to me. So I hit it really fast with my stop back inside of that VWAP band. I got 1-to-1 R off here, and then trying to get 4R if we can on that runner. Bid City.
You
Woo!
gotta give it to you.
Yeah,
Gotta give it
baby.
to you. All right, well,
Okay, cool.
that's done.
That was a trade. Let's see what they
Avenged.
want to do. They could, yes, you're welcome. I'll send you half of that later.
Just gonna ask you a few questions.
Thanks, AV. Oh yeah, now it's freaking out.
Tape's a
Now
lot more
it's
bid than earlier,
now it's
though.
happy.
That's
Yep,
pretty good.
so happy. We beat the
Exhaustive
OR
VWAP
low.
poke.
Okay, it says we're zoomed out. We can see the entire profile. It's not the prettiest thing I've ever seen,
A little strange, yeah.
but all
But it looks
profiles,
like I mean, that could be resolved down there. That's a higher low put in.
Mhm.
Pretty close to where I wanted to bid. Yeah, I think they can really work with it. Well, are they just gonna punch through VWAP right now? I don't think so, but they should be able to hold a pullback unless they just punch through it. Still a really strong bid on tape. We're looking at like 500 plus delta positive.
Yeah. Pull back for ants.
That wasn't a pullback, that was a blip.
Yes, that was a blip. Back up at the open. Do you guys prefer using full session or only RTH for point of control, value area high, low, etc.? I use RTH volume profile and value area highs and lows. I don't use the full session.
Yeah, I use RTH for intraday trading, but my high time frame volume profile, so daily profiles, it would be the entire day.
Yeah.
So Globex into RTH, but for executing, it's only intraday. The other profiles are for context. There's high time frame stuff.
I just can hold this thing. And keep rotating up. I don't know if I'm going to be fast enough to get in again, though. That was pretty quick.
For the long.
Yeah,
I mean, you got in the perfect time when they were
I did.
actually going to push it through.
Scott is out of a long for a nice profit, but that was too painful. Well, if it hurts that much, you're probably a little oversized, but nobody judges here. This is the afternoon show. This is the kids' table.
You're at the kids' table now. There's a lot more leeway.
Yep, we
longer
can throw
leash.
stuff, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, we are stalling here. They're stalling at the highs, but the tape is still super positive. I'm gonna wait
Repo
to
Man,
see
I
how
don't
they...
have any level-to-level recommendations for ES, no. That's getting pretty violent. I don't even know if I want to. Yeah, there was no shot. Nope. I could not click the button.
Yeah, this is
It was too weird.
no.
It
The
was
bid
too
down
violent.
there, I did like it, but I couldn't hold on to it.
No.
But anything now is pretty dicey. You don't feel like you have that.
So I didn't even have a clue that was a good long. It might not have been. Whereas down here, we had all of this coming in, and then this got pushed through. So this offer delta got pushed through, and that was good confirmation. I didn't have any delta magic tricks going on for me up here.
Yeah, that was that spot I was looking for them to break. They just couldn't do it. They waited for you, actually. They wanted me out of it. They wanted Stowe instead.
Hey, Pax. So big nothing, huh? Goose egg. Goose
Big
egg on the
nothing.
presser. Wait, we shall all wait and see. That was pretty it was pretty interesting commentary from the Tony Nash guy. He really did not hold back about how little the Fed cares about normal humans, which I thought
Oh yeah, I was
was funny.
listening. I was like, oh.
I was like,
He's
this
like, they're
guy's going
so
hard. I love
disconnected
it.
from reality. I was like, I mean,
Yeah.
he's probably not wrong, I'm gonna be honest.
I wanted to ask Jim if he had a favorite Fed, so please help me remember to ask him later when he's on. Do you have a favorite Fed?
Favorite sports team? No, let's talk favorite Fed.
It's kind of like the same thing.
Close
The
enough.
sport of economics. I like Waller the best right now.
I don't even know what they look like. I only know
Me neither.
the star player.
I just like to do the shot caller, Waller. That's what I say to myself every time he comes on the news feed. I'm just like, yeah. Then I go listen to that song. Usually have a pretty good day.
That's
why
the
I
trick.
like Waller.
How to
Used to
trade
like
Fed
Bullard
is.
a lot. Bullard would always come on in like 2021 and just talk about how everything sucked and how everything Powell was doing was wrong. I was like, oh man, the Bear King. Least favorite Fed, the IRS. Fair enough. Tyler's Trash Panda. Jim likes Volker. Oh, Austin. There's Jim. Yeah, you like the Chicago guy. You're just doing
Gould beat
hometown stuff.
Chicago.
That's cheating, by the way.
I mean, it's kind of like cheering for your favorite sports team, just happens to be the home team, right? Same concept. I am not homesick. I know what it looks like.
Is Goldsby a Sox fan or a Cubs fan? That will determine whether or not I like that guy. I know Pax is a Sox guy. Pax and I talked a little bit about baseball a couple months ago, and now that the season's been going and the Pirates are about to probably fire their manager and GM, I would say it's better to be a White Sox fan, Pax, than a Pirates fan right now.
Stopped me out again.
Sox all day, baby. South side.
Yeah, I never cared for baseball. I only do now because when the Dodgers win home games, you can get Panda Express for $6.
That's true. Yes.
So go Dodgers.
I think you've actually told me that 3 times. And
It's such a
I'm
good
really
deal,
jealous. We don't get anything like
honestly.
that. Go Braves? Yeah.
Whoever plays the Cubs. Panda Express. Yes, packs. You don't like Panda Express? For $6? It's not too much I wouldn't eat. Everything's so expensive now.
$6 is pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
XY, how many Panda Express meals would the watch that you're wearing right now buy? Just curious.
You know, let's do the math. Let's do the current
Okay.
market rate. 2,166.
That's cool. All right.
I could buy everyone here some Panda. Yeah.
I mean, you could feed yourself and a family of 3 all year on simply on Dodger Panda Express meals.
Instead, I choose to just tell the time with it.
Oh yes, Leo, I would love to tell people about the new Ninja Freemium site. So, among the many things that Leo can do, he also can make websites and make them look really classy. And there is now a brand new freemium package for the OFL freemium tools. It's a website, standalone spot, and that's where you can go to sign up, get the freemium tools, all the resources, the video documentation, everything that you need to learn how to use them is all right there. Installation instructions, piece of cake. And these are all free tools. You don't have to sign up and do any money stuff.
Do any money stuff.
Totally free. And then when you talk to Leo in the chat, tell him how nice it looks because it does.
Gets a little signature audio. Hey, look at my crew neck. It's a OFL crew neck. Can you guys see this?
You got
500
a crew neck?
likes.
Oh wait, I have that. Never mind.
Get some of
That's
these,
fair.
I think.
That's true. I'm starting to get out. I think I put my sweatshirts away for like the last time today. I was a little sad.
Yeah, it's a little warmer today. It was cold here the past 3 days. I mean, cold by my standard, you know. But now it's a little warmer, so no robe today. Just trying to see a short play out, really. I'm starting to have my doubts.
I don't know. I want to scalp this long, but I it looks like a long setup, but I don't know. Is the meeting done? Is he done talking? Is it over? Not yet. All right. Well, then I wait.
I'm being reminded why I don't trade FOMC post announcement.
That was a long.
Still could be a long.
I know. It's just a mess down. It's a mess in here.
It is a mess. But they're holding it. They're holding
Yeah.
it pretty well.
The tape kind of lost its gusto, you know? It was getting, there was a certain wiggle factor it had down here that, you know, was exciting. It was getting the people going.
It just keeps baiting me. I just took like a 6-point stop or something. It just keeps baiting me. Did you see that 800 lot?
Yes, I do.
I actually should have looked at the DOM first.
Yes, 8-9. Oh, he pulled too. Sneaky stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was it. And then I got in, instant stopped out for 6, and I see this guy with 800 lots. Did they fail him?
No, he pulled. He pulled them all.
Mm-mm.
11 lots got filled there. I'm sorry, 13 lots got filled there. So that guy was full of garbage.
It's looking pretty bullish right now.
You know, Omni, yeah, it's got the wiggle. It's got the wiggle factor. You want to be on the right side of the wiggle.
They're really
Nah, he wasn't. He wasn't flashing. It was just like it was just an 800 lot order, just sitting there,
just
and
sat
then
there, really.
pulled off, and yeah, it's just annoying.
Sat there until they got too close.
Yeah,
Happens all the time.
happens all the time. Trying to talk myself into this. Oh, the offer's kind of on there. Nope. And we were holding all this.
If this one doesn't work out, you guys ever see a grown man cry on stream? You guys are
Oh,
witnessing
nice. Nice.
you guys are witnessing the downfall of tight stops. Two ideas that play out, but I took a stop first.
You got to manage your risk, but that's
It
job
is what
one.
it is. Makes it easier to make it back.
Yep.
What's up, Chris?
Hey, Chris. How's it going, bud? Chris gets to trade the post-Fed day tomorrow in the morning. That will be fun. When all the market participants have had time to think about their thoughts
about
and
what
their
they've done.
feelings, their deepest fears.
Think about what they've done.
I get
Read
regrets. From 86, I can barely see it. Where's your entry, XY?
Oh, 66 and a quarter.
66. Okay, cool.
I'm looking for 10. 8, 10.
I like it.
Not sure if they'll give it to me, but
It seems to be back in a rotational mood.
yeah, I mean when they came in and said it's kind of a nothing burger, then I was like, well, if it's a nothing burger, chances are we'll rotate back if they can't really punch through view up. So I got punched instead. We'll see.
Here's the retest. Yeah, this would be what I'd look at for confirmation.
A tragedy is what
Tragedy.
it is.
Yep. That's gross.
How much MFE did we get? It went to like 25. It's like wow, I got 40 points on that.
That's rude.
Yeah, I really thought they'd get to the edge of this though. So it goes.
They're back up in here.
Where is long target? You're not long, right?
No, I'm not long.
Oh.
Not yet. I've thought about it maybe like 40 times.
And they all would have paid you.
I gotta try it real fast. I mean, it's getting wiggly up here. It's trying to
Wiggly?
get back into the 30-second OR.
Well, I need you to tell me if it's good wiggles or bad wiggles.
That was bad. That entry was
Friendly
so bad.
fire.
You still in from your 66?
I am. Yeah.
All right.
It's either gonna stop me out at 80 or pay me. Looks like they're gonna.
Friendly fire!
That's
It's
such a
so
good
bad.
one.
It's so bad. That entry is so bad. I should have been in here.
There's 99 North trade. What's your entry?
Ah, it's gone
Can't really
now.
see it. Oh,
It was 70.
yeah. I
I might
mean,
have
there's
to
a
take another
chance they
shot at it.
take us both out.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't realize I had gone 40 points into profit already. I really should have taken some off. Just really had my eyes set on the edge right here of this distribution.
They're trying to leave it though.
Yeah, I know. They're actually doing a pretty good job. They held it
But previously
still.
closes right here. And it's serving as a sell point also.
You said, Stowe, what
Gross.
is this?
I quit.
What are you talking about, Leo?
Yeah. Leo, what are you talking about?
Should I call myself the diplomat?
When was that? I don't remember that at all.
I think that was the day. I think Leo and I were on at the same time. And he was talking about having to do Kane impressions.
Oh, and then every time you try it, you just end up
Kept doing
Australian.
Australian accents, yes.
Poking the bear about us poking the bull. Oh yeah. Have I learned my lesson? Will I peel off sooner this time?
I don't know. I feel like we were in this same moment yesterday, and you just went ahead and held to target.
Yeah. Chances are I was smarter yesterday. We'll see who I am today. I have no hat. Someone said earlier, XY without a hat is a different man. He might be right.
It's like sometimes he opens the windows.
I literally round
Uh,
tripped it earlier. You know I hate that. I could have did what I did in the morning, which is TP out. I'm gonna take one here down to 2. I could have TP'd out, got back
oh,
in up
Leo was making
there.
fun of my entry. Leo's just trying to get me to swear on the stream. And guess what? It's not going to work because I work clean now, sir. I'm like the Seinfeld of streamer boys.
So a company man now. A true professional. Crappy PA. Oh, you got that right.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
I don't feel like it's too big of an ask just to get an actual rotation through a node once you're already in that node, you know? But today it's a little different. Tape is
Omni,
flashing on the sell.
I did pretty good pre FOMC. I just didn't do anything until we got to the overnight low, and then I just bought it like 6 times.
So that was
Um,
you,
it was me. Well, no,
you
probably not.
bastard.
I have a hard time thinking that my 4 micros at a time was doing anything to the book, but I guess I don't know.
They finally gonna pay me.
Yeah, get to that edge.
Dude, if they
813.
oh, man.
That's what I'll watch again. They should run this 820.
820.
Yeah,
I
you gotta
want
run the
10.
820 to get to 813.
Hmm. It's 55 points asking for too much.
I don't know. What's the range today?
All right,
298.
I'll peel off for 40. I'll peel off for 40 this time. I learned my
That's
lesson.
that's pretty. I mean, that's a good trade, dude.
I had my
Oh,
chance earlier.
once you stop
Big
6 points,
thing.
that's plenty. That's plenty of R.
Chop City. Oh, it certainly is. Yeah, they're holding this again.
Yeah.
Just keep running away from me. Smoothing out the profile. Yeah, they really are. It's gonna look different, likely. Let's see where ES is. Yeah, ES is definitely smoothing that out up there too.
Trying to
It was like 2 nodes.
get a grasp on. Yeah, maybe that was better.
Now I'm glad I took at least one off.
Me too.
I think I might. I'm gonna add one back in here.
That seller's still there.
Yeah, I'm gonna add one back in and
Never mind.
we'll see how it goes. Might go for a spite fill on the second one. Do a 800 even overnight low spite fill.
I love that. Back to
The
overnight
Stowe
low.
special.
I would be so happy for you.
Yeah, they're still selling. I just hope they don't let off because if they do, we might trade 22K
What time we got?
immediately.
320.
Yeah, we got
Last,
to turn
last-
in about 9 minutes.
yeah. Last try at the momentum there. Whoops.
Friendly fire.
I broke it. I think I hit the wrong button. Yep, no momentum. It's all you, bud.
That's what I thought the last 3 times we visited this. 2 times. It could be food banking it right now if I really peeled off earlier. Now it's got to be spite fills. Did they barely got you out on that?
Yes. It's still that it was again a really bad fill.
Hmm.
I think I got some sort of error. I don't know what was
Yeah, I
happening.
mean marketing in on a thinner tape is always real dicey.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like I want to see this. I want to see this stuff. Like this I want to see them pop all these things. This guy, that's what I'm playing for. All these stops up here.
Yeah.
This volume.
I actually thought FOMC was going to do that. Guess
So did
not.
I. Nope.
Guess a nothing burger is a nothing burger.
I guess. Yeah, if you hit like, my influencer friend Nick would like everybody to know that if you hit the like button, we can finally leave this range.
Please hit like.
Don't make me go full influencer.
I know it's X, Y, and I's curse to be permanently stuck in a fighting in a phone booth.
All right, we're about 20 points in. Should I have taken one? Oh, too late. Jim has him locked in a cage until we get enough likes. Calls it the pit. I'm not being unreasonable for not covering any at 20, right?
No, I don't think so.
I'm itching, tempted. Let's see if they can wash this through.
I mean, you're better at this than me. You know, I can't hold a short to save my life.
I can't hold anything. They're stacking up on the offer, but they need to push it. Yep. Offer is stacking pretty well. I'm gonna get ready to grab one unless they do this to me again. Nope.
Push through the month open. Nope.
Oh, they're gonna do it to me again. I should have did it.
No, it's still on the offer.
Yeah, they're reloading pretty nice right now. Reloading the offers.
Can the month open be defeated?
All right, I'm moving this up. There it is.
You get it?
Got it.
Nice.
See if we can get to the other end. That was tough. See, this is how it was in the morning, except I wasn't getting stopped out, and my mental capital is just like depleting so fast.
Yep.
Imagine making money and your mental capital is just depleting.
There you go, homie. Here it comes.
Uh,
Pushing that 800. Spite fill.
I'll take this. I'll take that right there. Finally, we're moving. All right. We've got redemption.
So you got avenged and redeemed.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's because
it's
we got
pretty
more
good.
likes. That's what we were missing. So Nick came in and saved the day.
It was the likes.
New lows or new highs, riot. Yeah, Nick saved the day, man.
Got all these people.
Thanks, Tracy.
I'm a good boy.
I think that's the funniest one.
Yeah.
That's gotta be the funniest one.
It's definitely up there. No, Leo, I didn't short that. Sorry. I can't take them all. Overnight low. Are they going to push back into these 90s? I might have to stab. Stab.
Certainly got work to do.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a great example of what tight stops can do against you. Both ideas played out, but I took like 4 stops. 1 on the downside long
Yeah.
and 3 on this VWAP short. And both just worked out. What not to do? That's today's stream. Up
I
100
like
points
this
on my
exhaustion
short.
bubble down here.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, thanks everybody in chat. We finally got it, huh?
Yeah, you did
Now
great.
we're about to hit 100 points.
I think that was fine. I think that was a fine trade. Even taking all those stops. You're going to have to.
Do I cap this at 100 points? Or do I go for 1 million?
I don't know. I think it's... Yeah.
Here's what I'll do.
I still think there's a bid down here.
I will trail this.
Ooh. It's definitely getting slammed.
Yeah, the offer is still reloading pretty well, so
Yeah.
nervous about the trail. It might be a little too tight, but I'm not trying to give back almost $2,000 here.
Yeah. That's a lot of PF Chang's, honestly.
PF Chang's, you're fancy. You know, I've never been to a PF Chang's.
Oh wait, what was a Panda Express? I screwed up.
Yeah. For the common folk.
PF Chang's is also for the common folk. Is that? Do you have those? Maybe that's
We
just
have
a
them.
regional
Yeah, I've
thing.
just
Okay.
never been to one. Nick said new lows. There's no way he can be wrong.
He's not usually wrong.
All right,
He's
you
a good-
know what?
he's
I
a good
will
boy.
give this more room. Move it up here and back into the range. So I'll lock in about 50 points or whatever that is. And give the rest.
Peace, Omni. See you later, bud. Have a good lift.
All right, this is for Nick. I'm gonna put a TP in right there. Believe. Nick's inspired me, man.
I
No,
think Nick.
I'm
I think
all
Nick
in.
might be short. I just something tells me that Nick might be a little short right now.
He's trying to get me to move the book with my 1 to 3
Yeah.
lot minis.
Yeah. Or Nick is Nick is either short
Or he's using me as liquidity.
or the inverse. Yeah.
That's like the worst. That's the worst thing you can say to someone. The most offensive thing you can say to a trader is you are nothing but liquidity.
There's your turn.
The turn. Yeah.
And here I am
Question
watching for
is, do
this
I want to
same
probably
spot
gotta
again.
retrace this or pull this back, but do I want to sit through it? That's the question.
You gonna pull?
Short but trail to 800. Oh, they're definitely buying this thing.
Nope.
They're trying to. You see that
Nope.
delta?
I hate it.
It's more steam, more fuel for the downside flames.
Yep. That trick did not work the second time.
We need it to be chat versus Stowe like that one day.
Isn't that every day? I need to take a second shot.
I need those market callers in the chat like we had yesterday. I need them to tell me where we're going.
Yeah, they said they were gonna hang out all the time, and then like, yeah, where are you, bud?
I need those Oracle market calls right now. Yeah, this buying is pretty
ferocious.
aggro right
Yeah,
now.
it's
This
very
is
ferocious.
this is for real. Um,
I don't know if it's getting anywhere.
yeah, I'm out. I'm out of that one. Trailed out. That's too much buying.
Nope, stepped on it at overnight low.
They could slip under again. I'll pop back
Man.
in some more shorts, but
I've
dude,
scratched
this
out.
is some
Scratched
serious
out
buying.
twice now.
What did I close out at? Was it like 80 points?
Need 85.
That was kind of close. That was
Entry
kind
was
of close
just-
to 100. Might have to get back in. This is buying though.
It's
pretty-
not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're not really getting anything.
It
So
absorbed
like,
90,
I
and
might
then
hop
as
back
soon
in
as it touched
short.
the overnight low, it shoved right back down.
I want to hop back in the shorts, but we're still trading where all this buying is. Tape is still pretty buy side. Yeah, there's so much. I'm
Yeah,
gonna wait for them to chill out.
all this.
I'm gonna go with the longs though.
Let's see. We can get this overnight low. Okay.
Back in the range. Oh, we're on the same side.
Yeah. For now, that offer though, still coming down.
Yeah, they just got.
It
just
just
found
got
him.
slammed. It just got slammed again.
They found him.
Nope.
Still cooking.
That's good. I'm glad I got out of there. That cost me
Yeah, I'm out of there now.
4 points.
That was worth a shot. We had some pretty decent MFE on that too. I was only able to get one off.
Same. It rejected
the
this.
range.
Yeah. Griffin short 20. Fair enough. Yeah. I think Nick might be right. I'm going to go get my kid. I'll be right back. Don't make too much money without me, XY. Got to be here. It's a
No
team,
promises.
It's a joint effort.
Nick said new low because they got him stopped. Yeah, they chilled me out too. Still pretty strong offer. Try this again here. Yeah, I'm seeing a bid stepping up as best they can, but hoping that there's been enough attempts on the offer down here where they can just give it up. We will try to find some scales. I'll scale some out there. Maybe another like the POC. Oh yeah, making money without Stowe. Does it get any better?
Can you take
Oh,
me
boy.
higher?
Yeah, the bid was really responsive, which is why. Now, whether they'll fill my order here is another thing, but if they do, it's a good sign because it means they're back into the distribution. We're back into value. Yep, got one. So, oh yeah, triple eagle incoming. I'm gonna make this tighter here. Don't want it if it comes back. The second fail of the distribution. But yeah, that was some really responsive bid for sure. Let's see if we take any off. This would be a retest right here. Nah, I think we go PLC though. Take one here. We have a lot of offer that was here prior. Oh yeah, double eagles. We need the third. Nick, where are we going? See ya, Chris. Thanks for hopping on. I need Nick to tell me where we're going. Amazon package outside. Thanks, guys. Yeah, you've seen a lot of executions today, that's for sure. That's FOMC for you. I haven't traded FOMC post announcement for a really long time. I just get my work done prior to it and then just do anything else. We'll let this one run. We're sitting on really, really good profits now on this current session. So I had a really good morning too. So I'm willing to let this one come back. If it does, so be it. But I mean, that's the third attempt at a low, and they can't even get lower. So I think the window for more upside is certainly there. There's no guarantee that they'll do it with me. They might come back, test it again, and go higher. Um, yeah, I'm here for it. Here for it. See if they can hold overnight low at least, which means we're likely going to be trapped into or inside of the range. And if we are, the other side of value is right here, 920. Look to maybe peel off anywhere from IB low up to value area high. We'll see. We'll see what the order flow looks like as they go. They did step on some selling there, so that's a bid that's willing to firm up. That's good. No hat XY is intense. Yeah, sometimes you get this, sometimes you get that, sometimes you get a rope, sometimes you get something else. Yeah, I try to word vomit when I'm trading so that you guys can get like a real time look in my head. I do that a lot in OFL. I know a lot of them can testify on that here. On my sessions, I'm like just word vomiting, trying to convey all of my thoughts in real time. Um, yeah, and then I go on like random TED Talk rants about whatever it can be, depending on who's asking what. Did we even get POC yet? Barely. Just short of POC. We'll probably get it here. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you guys are getting value out of this. Me and Stoa putting our money at risk on FOMC day. But, I mean, as long as you guys are getting value, it's good. Yeah, this distribution is more lumpy now. They really filled out this upside right here, where I was trying to work on that short. So it's a little different now. I don't know what this is, honestly. But we're flying. Oh, we're flying. This is 100 points. I'm gonna lock in 100 points. So if they come back, at least I'll get 100 points. There it is, 100-point runner. We did it. Stowe's gonna come back and see me flat. Okay. Hold on. Let me get to this chat. Okay, there's a lot going on right now. Sai, yeah. Sai's been in OFL for some. Oh, all right. I could have got 200 points, but we won't tell Stowe that. Um, yeah, Sai's been in the OFL streams. I'm glad he's having a good time in there.
Well, well, well.
Stowe, it's good to have you back.
Hi.
It's good to have you back.
Oh.
Can you believe that I was long
Ah.
970s
Ah. Oh.
and my runner got less than half of the current range we're seeing?
I get regrets.
Dude,
I did.
I don't know what this is. I mean,
Ah.
descending chip curves.
Let me just look at my last stop just so I can feel really good about it. Let's just zoom in this. All right. There it is. Now I was pretty happy with that because I bailed on it because I wasn't confident. Got out for only 4-point loss there.
Yeah, they didn't make it easy, man. They did not make it easy.
Oh, I tell you.
But yeah, you missed a lot.
I guess I did. That was a very long 4 minutes.
Was that 4 minutes?
I think. I'm sorry, it was 8 minutes.
Hmm.
I did miss a ton in 8 minutes. Wow. I'm telling you, I mean, the market makers know when I'm at my desk. There must be a spy camera in here somewhere.
Yeah, I
AI,
had a
NVIDIA,
long.
and yeah, so they're doing.
I had a
Trump
long
is
and I
doing chip
trailed my
stuff.
runner to 100 points.
That's awesome. All right.
But the thing is they swept out the trail and went another 150.
Yeah, this looks like extremely thin and terrible. Oh, I see. So you trailed it, and then I see the pullback there. Yeah, that's not very nice.
That's not nice.
No. Well, that's what happens.
Well, as long as we're making money. Right?
Yep. I'm glad you caught it, bud. That makes me happy.
Avenged.
Avenged.
Avenged you.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, I need you guys to all know this is hard mode, man. I have not traded FOMC
Look at this day.
in so long, and
Look at that day.
it was a rough start, but we adjusted and pulled it out.
Wow.
Look, yeah.
Wow.
Over or under 10 squiggly lines on Stowe's chart. Go.
Hurry, let me delete some real fast. Yeah, I zoom out like anybody can see anything but a bunch of squiggly lines. Sorry. I can see through it. I can see through the filter. You snooze, you lose, baby. It's
Don't worry,
true.
guys, we still got 15 minutes. Nick, what's the move? What's the move, Nick?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Just let me know when you're done.
Previous day high, previous day low. I guess we could say it's an outside day. I mean, FOMC to be expected. You know, you look every time I look back and I look at Monday's profile, I just get so upset. Just this was the worst.
Yep.
Who
Yeah.
had a good day Monday?
No, that sucked.
Nobody.
That sucked. I mean, I took some stops down here and missed the move that the flow was telling me was in there. I mean, the bid was also in here trying to make that move too. But sometimes you miss. I didn't have as bad of a day today emotionally as I did Monday. Monday felt like 9,000 days at once.
Today's range right now, 374.
They added another 70 points to it in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is yeah. Good ideas. Got stopped out a few times, but all three ideas did play out. Just FOMC thinner book is they don't care how tight my stops are.
Nope.
Yeah. But we've got some good rotations. While I word vomited. I think I talked nonstop when you left, dude.
I can't wait to go back and listen to it. That's
And then
gonna
the
make me
chat
happy.
was flying, so I'm trying to answer stuff, and then like I'm going back and forth, like, what do I do with this runner? Do I do this? Do I do that? No, you know what? No, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, Jeff, the Monday was a day where everything was front run by 2 ticks. Like no one got to a profit target cleanly on Monday.
I definitely did not.
No. Yeah, that was gross. They just gonna close? Are they just doing normal pullback stuff now? Pull back to here.
We got about a minute until algos, so I mean we're still, geez, trapped in this. Look, this is overlapping value. The good news for a bullish case is still tapering down here. If they can hold auction above.
Be back 1 second, next. I got to plug in the iPad.
Oh. Duty calls. Yeah, if they can hold above today's majority distribution, then we can see some good upside. Volume was moving lower, and if they can finally leave this behind, so testing out here again, let me just draw. Testing out here again and finding that still there's not enough interest to push price back and through prior balance is bullish. And then now we have, how do I move this? Yeah. Okay. So now we have this volume here. If the market can sustain above this, that would indicate strength to me,
Yeah.
because this is two-sided auction, which means there are buyers and sellers. We can hold above. It tells me that there's more buyers than sellers. That's what it requires for a market to continue up. So it hangs on this. I think how the day closes definitely will matter because we're still sequencing down on the interest. Um, Certainly not going up. Not just yet.
I see the mock chose violence.
Yeah, we'll need to hold higher. See upside. The good thing is it's taper, right? Every time they come down, it's like, all right, who's willing to sell? Not many, not nobody. So that would conclude like the business here might be done for now. This balance.
Yeah.
And interest, yes. Overall, higher, but they need to show strength against sell side at some point.
I would
We'll
be
see.
super. I'd be
Good
super
for
stoked
portfolios
if they could
if they could.
revisit this.
I mean, where the market is finding resistance right now, this is pretty much the gateway into that prior range before everything died. If they can sustain bid above 20,000, we'll say 300. Yeah, literally this prior week high. They can start sustaining bid above here and getting back through. We're actually going to be working back into that old range where everything built up for so long and then just collapsed. So that's actually a good bullish case. If TBD as
Yep.
everything.
Fed days are hard, man. Everything is just so tough to read. It's probably just an order flow trading problem.
What? What'd you say?
Just like it's just harder. It's just super hard to read order flow
Oh, yeah.
on a Fed day.
I mean, because the tape is thinner too.
Yeah.
When the tape is not so thin, you can get more information. But when the tape is thin, everything is so spread out for us on like as order flow traders. We're seeing spread out info. It's not the same.
Nope. Check that. Yep. Yeah. I think that's about the day. I don't know. You banked on it, XY.
I feel like I've just traded 6 hours. This is not a common thing for me. I'm not like firing off at the hip, and
You were firing off at the hip today.
I
That was
was.
cool.
That's why I feel like I've been trading for 6 hours. Usually, lately I've just been done in like half an hour or so. So I traded 3 sessions.
Dude, XYZ, these markets go 23 hours a day. You could keep rolling, buddy.
Rookie numbers, huh?
Yeah. Well, hopefully tomorrow will be a little more interesting. I'm going to be on in the afternoon, and tomorrow's Judgment Day, first week of stats. XY, how do you think I did? I haven't looked
No, I
yet.
think you
I
did.
don't know.
I think you did okay. I don't. It didn't seem. It doesn't seem to me like there's anything to be concerned about in the trading. No.
We'll see. We'll see if I can find any holes in the stats.
Oh, there's always holes in the stats.
Yes.
If there's one thing that's guaranteed, it's every time we look at stats, we're going to find those holes.
Yep.
As long as you're oscillating upwards, that'll be a good
Yes.
thing.
The
A good
wiggle
equity
upwards.
curve, right? Healthy pullbacks in the
Yes.
equity curve.
Okay.
Yeah. But man, that last candle, I'm looking at a 30-minute candle, of course, on the E-mini S&P, and it was a 65. I love saying this, 65 handle candle. I mean, it was huge. I mean, this is classic FOMC aftermath right now.
Well, I think it was Trump revenge because the guy does not like to be outdone. So he waited till Powell was done with his conference and then was like, you know what?
My time.
Let's tweet some chip news. See what happens.
Yeah, that whole AI diffusion rule, it's bizarre at best. I mean, it tries to limit like selling advanced chips to places like, Russia, North Korea, Iran. You already can't sell it there.
Right.
It's already against the law.
uh, it's a fun,
Oh,
fun environment we're working in right now.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be special unless you can't make a really good salad without putting a lot of ingredients in. So, you have to have, the folks at Capitol Hill throwing stuff in. You have to have some. We had ex-Fed speakers all over Bloomberg after you were done talking about how. I love when this happens, and I'll never say this when I retire about you guys, like how dumb you guys are. But 'cause even if I believed it, which I don't, but
Sure.
the ex-Fed guys are like ripping on the new Fed guys. It's like, oh my God.
Of course, of course. These guys
Jim, you
don't
don't
know
need to tell
anything.
us. We already say it to each other.
Yeah, I know. I know how dumb this is.
You guys are you. As a matter of fact, I can't wait to see Stowe's results because they're gonna be epic.
That'll be cool. Hopefully we can do. We'll do like a whole month of that, and it'll really show a true bigger picture other than just like watching somebody trade every day. You can have watched me trade every day and then see what a whole month of that work looks like. So I'm looking forward to that. Nervously looking
You've
forward to
been
that.
pulling a lot of sessions lately. Hey,
Yeah.
you got like 5 a week, right?
I think it's 4. No, it's 5. It's 5. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're working you. They're working you.
Working it, feeling the flow, all good things.
One of these days he's not going to answer the phone. We'll be like, "Hey, Stowe." No, it just goes to voicemail. Voicemail's full.
I'll just I'll just turn the camera on and it'll just be my cat just sitting here.
It just says out of office with your cat.
Man. Here we go. Driving up again above the session VWAP in the micro Nazi.
They
Crazy
really filled
bars,
this
man.
thing out.
Yeah, so crazy.
I mean, volume so far. We didn't have a huge volume day. I mean, the E-mini did 1.2 million. The micro Nazi did 1.7 million, or almost 1.8 million. It's good volume, but it's not like crazy off the hook volume.
Right.
So that's interesting. My guess is the Globex session tonight's going to be rocky.
Well,
Yeah.
today's session was so crazy. We forgot to ask for everyone to hit the like button like every 5 minutes.
We did. Yeah. We had yesterday we talked more than we traded, and today we traded more than we talked.
Well, you had Kane this morning asking every 5 minutes. I think he was going to go on a hunger strike if he didn't get a certain number of likes.
Hit the likes or I'm only taking losing trades.
And trust me, I'll go full influencer mode if you want me to.
Now that's a proper accent. I still can't figure out how to replicate it, but that's the good stuff.
Yeah, he has a lot of special fans in the chat.
Oh yeah, he's a popular guy.
We got special fans. I don't know. I might have
Is
to
it the
start
right kind
picking
of special?
favorites.
No, you're good. You guys are
To be
good. You guys are
determined.
awesome. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Whatever the combination of OrderFlow Labs guys are, it doesn't matter. It's always a good combination.
Oh yeah, it's a plug and play, mix and
We,
match.
I mean, if we weren't on here doing it, we'd just be talking to each other doing the same thing. So honestly,
Yeah, it really is. It really is true. We're just like hanging out. But now we have to do it on camera.
And there's a chat room full of people asking us questions.
More like trying to tell us what to do.
Ah man, I'm probably gonna have to watch Globex tonight, aren't I? Okay, I can feel it.
I'm gonna be. Yeah, I mean, gold just stayed in a range today. We had the big sell-off last night, the very first 30-minute candle of the session last night,
Yeah,
and then we just were like sideways, man, and that's a shocker to me.
yeah, strange.
Well, Pax and Tracy did tell us it was a nothing burger.
It's true.
Yeah.
So they'll
Yeah.
lock you in the range.
We're gonna have to someone's going to have to call Capitol Hill and talk to the president and get him busy on X. There you go. Bond, same story. Oh,
Close the
oh
high.
well.
Crazy. I did
Yeah.
not see that coming. that chip news did it. Wow.
The star of the
Yeah.
show, of course.
Anything that supports NVIDIA is like gonna rally.
Yep. Especially NASDAQ.
Yeah.
We're basically just trading triple levered NVIDIA right now.
Don't
Hey,
say
thanks
that.
for hopping on, AV.
All right. So
Ah.
tomorrow, what's the schedule tomorrow? Tomorrow is, so you're up tomorrow morning,
Yep.
right?
Yep, I do tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon is Leo and Nick for the afternoon. And then I am on Friday this week also.
What?
Special Friday sesh. Yeah.
Here we go. This is my Friday. I'm gone Thursday and Friday. You won't see me.
I know. That's why I got to trade on Friday. You see what you've done?
They really
Well,
got
I
you
mean-
working still.
You're my grandson, so you could fill in for me anytime you want.
I thought it was Uncle Jim. I thought we were going with Uncle Jim.
Oh, that's right. You're my nephew. You're my nephew.
I'm old. I'm too old. I'm too old to be. Yeah, it's Uncle
Still
Jim.
gets
Yeah,
younger
yeah,
and
yeah.
younger every time you mention it.
Yeah. Although XYZ is in a different category, maybe. I don't know how old XYZ is, but he looks extraordinarily young to me.
I'm like, whatever 1991 is in September.
Okay.
You guys work
So
that out. My
you're
brain
not-
is fried.
You did trade too much.
My brain is fried.
I was off the board of trade floor for 11 years at that point.
Oh, that's great.
Put that in perspective. All right, so you guys are holding the fort. That's awesome. Tomorrow,
Yep.
I'm just looking at the econ news tomorrow. We have jobless claims as usual at 8:30 a.m. East Coast time. Red Star event, productivity and cost 8:30. Only a green star event, and then the EIA natural gas report that I'm sure Tracy will talk about at 10:30. Other than that, that's it. Friday is
Awesome.
Fedpalooza. Friday's
Yeah.
Fedpalooza. We got Barr speaking, Williams, Kugler, Barkin, Goolsby, Williams, Waller,
Waller, my boy.
Hammock. Oh my God. You got to check out Goolsby's personal Twitter page, though. He's pretty funny.
Okay, cool.
You might like him.
That sounds good.
Anyway, I don't. There's no reason to cover it. We did all the chart work we can today. This has been a fantastic day. I mean, the folks, in addition to you guys, the folks that we had on the show today were just. It was incredible. It was really, really inspiring for me. I love seeing all the different opinions, all the commentary, all the interaction, all the great trading, especially by you guys.
Thanks, man.
So,
Yeah, today was awesome. All that Fed commentary was so good. I'm gonna go follow that dude that was on before we came on. I thought-
Yeah, Tony
What-
Nash.
Tony Nash. That's it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta
Yeah,
find
yeah.
more about that guy.
He's pretty good. And check out Brannigan Barrett also. He's Trader Bran. He's pretty
Oh yeah, he's legit. I think every order flow trader knows who he is.
Oh yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Man. Yep.
Yeah, he's
Cool.
awesome. So, but in any event, and also Mike Green, that guy this morning with Tracy and Shai, and I mean, it was that dude. I didn't know that guy until this morning, and I was like, oh, I'm following him, and I'm sending him instant messages. So, you don't want to be on the receiving end of those.
You know what we need? We need gym sound clips, and it's kind of a crime that there haven't been any gym sound clips pulled yet. You must
Whoa.
have. Okay.
It's
Just
not a
something for the
crime.
producers to think about.
It's that now. Don't be now. Don't. All right. You're still.
He's
You're
about to
a
kick us off right
contributor.
now.
Yeah.
And that's the show.
Kevin, pull the plug real fast.
Whoa.
Anyway, thanks you guys again. It's been awesome. I'll see you guys on Monday. You guys have a great, and I'll tell you guys right now, please be safe and be safe out there. Be good to each other this weekend. It's a long way away. I will see you on Monday though. I'm looking forward to being back already. So thanks again.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jim.
And everybody-
Thank you, chat.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for
Awesome.
hopping on,
Everybody
chat.
else out there, same message. Please be safe out there. Be good to each other. 8 a.m. sharp. NinjaTrader Live.